A tough come-from-behind victory for Edwardsville is what landed them here today. Miranda Sylvie made it happen and sealed the deal for the Tigers. They are undefeated and looking for a perfect finish to their season. And now I'm here with head coach Lori Blade. Coach, you told me yesterday that first quarter was the ugliest basketball you've seen by this team all year. How do you avoid that today?
Well, I think it'll be different. We just need to relax and play. They're going to do different defenses on us. We need to communicate, and I think we'll be fine.
You've been so close in years past, and now you're here with these girls in this program competing for a state title. What does that say about this year?
Well, this has been a special group throughout. We returned 4 starters. We knew we'd have a pretty good season. And things have fallen into place for us to have the opportunity to have a great season. But no matter what, these kids have been special throughout. Their chemistry has been awesome, and I can't ask for anything more.
Geneva has switched up their pressures at different times during this year. What's your strategy going against that today?
Well, we have to be patient with it, and we have to read. We're going to have to make some basketball plays for sure. They play hard and they're scrappy, but it's not anything we haven't seen already at some point in time in the season. We just have to communicate well.
What are you expecting out of senior Miranda Sylvie today?
I expect her to be our leader. She's an all-state kid, and she's very deserving of that, and I expect her to have a good game like she always does.
Good luck, Coach. Thanks a lot. We will be back to talk with the Geneva coach right after this. We're minutes away from this 4A championship game. It was a back-and-forth battle in the second semi of the day yesterday, and it came down to the last seconds. A huge final shot for Margaret Whitley and the Geneva Vikings. After being content with making it to Redbird back in 2014, this time around they wanted something more, and now they have it. Chance to win a state title. Coach is in a meeting right now, shaking hands with the opponent, and now she joins me. Coach, you talked about how you had a lot of work to do last night after your victory. What did that entail?
Some film, taking a bunch of notes and watching more film.
What challenges does this Edwards team present for your team?
Well, they're tall, their height, their length for sure, and they know how to board, and they're undefeated. That's huge for them. So, you know, our kids are ready. They'll be prepared, and we're in the state title, so it's fun.
Compared to the last time you were here, what have you guys talked about that's made this different?
I just think that we just been talking about how special this team is and how we've made it here, but we've never won a game here. And so that was a big goal of ours to get here and do something different than any other team has before them.
Thank you so much, Coach. Good luck today. Thanks. We will be back in just a few minutes ahead of this 4A state championship final. Edwardsville and Geneva will battle for the state title when we come back. Down to this, the 4th and final game of Championship Saturday on the campus of Illinois State University. We've crowned one in 3A, and we are moments away from getting started and determining who will reign in 4A. Let's take a look at this Edwardsville-Geneva matchup. 2 players stepped up at the end of the game when it mattered for their teams yesterday. For Edwardsville, it was Mackenzie Sylvie. In that first semifinal, she finished with 9 points, including a game-winning shot. She was held well below her average, but the ball was still in her hands when it came down to the wire. No doubt she's got the eye of the tiger type focus. And for Geneva, Margaret Whitley had ice in her veins yesterday. She's a key part of this Geneva team, and Coach Sarah Meadows says she hits big shots for them. Last night was the definition of that. She had 9 points, but that shot is what she'll remember. From inside Redbird Arena, I'm Katie Wingy. Thanks for joining us. We had 2 tremendous finishes yesterday. We don't know what will happen in this one, the 4A championship. Let's take a look back at what has happened so far today. The 3A results, Chicago, Marshall, and Simeon played in that 3rd place game. Marshall took that one 55-41. In the championship 3A game, it was Morton who did it again, a three-peat for the Potters. Senior Brandy Bisping had 17 points, 44-37 on that one. And we just saw Montini defeat Fremd 35-22, a low-scoring game. And we are just minutes away from this 4A championship, Geneva and Edwardsville. Now we are going to go courtside with my broadcast partners, Dave Bernhardt, Patricia Babcock. McGraw will take it away from here, guys.
All right, thank you very much, Katie. And, you know, I don't know that we're going to get the finishes we got last night, but I can tell you what I feel right now. It's an air of anticipation here, and here's why. Okay, if you go back in basketball history, boys and girls, for Geneva High School, they started playing basketball in 1904. At Edwardsville, they started playing in 1930. So if you combine all the total years of basketball in those two communities, that's 200 years. And neither boys nor girls have ever won a state basketball championship.
Yeah, and we are going to have a new state champion here tonight. And, you know, we've had a lot of really impressive dynasties to follow in Illinois girls basketball history in recent years, in particular in the big school division. And, you know, you go back to the Bolingbrookes and Whitney Young, Montini, Bennett, those teams, a lot of state championships between those schools. Fun to follow, but it's so neat that here tonight we're going to have a brand new champion in the state of Illinois. Very cool that Edwardsville looking for their first state title, Geneva looking for their first state title. I think that this is going to be an emotionally charged atmosphere because of that.
Let's take a look at how these teams got here. We'll start by looking at the super sectionals for each of these two teams. Of course, double-digit victories both ways, but then last night it was the tight ones. Each of those games decided in the final possession. Let's take a look at a little bit from those games last night. Your first semifinal last night matched up Edwardsville and Montini, and for the Tigers, they had to use a 12-0 run in the first half to just pull even in that ball game. No players in double figures. Mariah Haywood had a great ball game, and of course, here's Mackenzie Sylvie's game winner in the final 20 seconds. For Geneva, they used a 9-0 run to start the second half. They actually trailed with 4 seconds left, despite the efforts of Grace Warburg, who had 12 points and 8 rebounds. But then it was all Margaret Whitley with 4 seconds left, the bank and the win. And for the first time, Geneva wins a game in the state finals and will be playing for the state championship. That's what Edwardsville and Geneva are looking for. We'll give that trophy away after 32 minutes of basketball. The Vikings and the Tigers coming your way next.
And now we ask that you join our guest soloist, Libby Lewis, a senior student at Dunlap High School, in the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And now, here are your starting lineups for the Class 4A championship game in the 2017 edition of the IHSA Girls Basketball Finals. First, for Geneva, a senior, number 10, Grace Loberg. For Edwardsville, a senior, number 12, Mackenzie Sylvie. For Geneva, junior number 11, Madeline Yell. For Edwardsville, a junior number 21, Rachel Pronger. For Geneva, junior number 23, Margaret Whitley. For Edwardsville, a junior number 22, Kate Martin. For Geneva, junior number 33, Madison Mallory. For Edwardsville, a junior number 24, Maria Haywood. For Geneva, junior number 42, Stephanie Hart. And for Edwardsville, a senior, number 25, Christian Waters. Geneva brings a 28-4 record into the championship game. The Vikings are coached by Sarah Meadows. Edwardsville brings a 32-0 record into the ninth game. The Tigers are coached by Lori Blade.
Edwardsville Tigers at 32-0, bidding to become the 9th large school team to be undefeated. State champions. The last one, that was Whitney Young in 2012. And interestingly enough, they beat Edwardsville that year 63-51. It is a big starting lineup for Edwardsville. They start 4 players that stand 6 feet tall. 1 stands 5'11". Geneva, they have basically a 6-person starting lineup, and what they do is they determine who their opponent will be and how they'll match up. So here tonight, Sarah Meadows, the head coach of Geneva, has decided to go big, of course. They'll go with Madison Mallory. She's a 6'2 junior. Last night we saw Bree Borkowitz, 5'6 junior. So Geneva goes a little bit bigger. Sarah Meadows in her 6th season with 147 wins, and at her disposal, Margaret Whitley, 14.2 points per game. Then there's Grace Loberg, 2nd team All-Stater, 14 points and 11.1 rebounds per game for Geneva, making their first appearance in the state finals. And there is the record for head coach Sarah Meadows. For Edwardsville, Lori Blade, she has been there, she has done that. 2 state championships when she was a head coach at Carrollton, and 2nd, as we said, in 2012. She has 4 players on this team that are 1,000-point scorers, and all experts have said that has never happened in the state before.
That's unbelievable. And they share the basketball so well. They really do not care who gets the credit for scoring. They're a very well-balanced team, very unselfish.
First offensive rebound of the game goes to the Vikings. There are your officials for tonight's game. Congratulations to them, and the easy layup inside from Loberg gets this game started.
You see already Geneva in the full court pressure. They will pick their spots. They won't bring that every time, but they were effective with it at times last night in the semifinals.
Kate Martin attacks the rim. It'll be Rachel Pronger with the putback. Once again, here your starting lineups presented by Taco Bell. We talk about the scoring for Edwardsville. 15.9 per game from Sylvie. Pronger at 13.4. Kate Martin at 13.3. Christian Waters is the 4th member of that 1,000-point club. She averages 8.3 points per game.
So you're almost getting double figures from 4 players. That is impressive. And Edwardsville also has some really quality players coming off the bench. This is a very deep team.
Deep and experienced. This unit has played together enough to win 91 games and only lose 3. 2 of those 3 losses came in last 2 years, super sectional. Those are the losses to eventual state champion Bennett Academy. And another opportunity for Geneva. On the cut. Comes out of there for Yell. This is Sylvie at the point. 1st team All-State. Take a look at Geneva High School in Kane County. Enrollment just shy of 2,000 members of the Upstate 8 Conference. Representing their conference here in the state finals. First time Geneva has ever been able to do that. They were here 2 years prior. That came in 2009, 2014, finished 4th both those seasons. Looking inside for Loberg. Christian Waters on her. Mallory will give it up, wide open. Hart. Sylvie on the move. For Edwardsville High School, we have a north-south matchup going on here tonight. Enrollment about 2,400. The Tigers from Madison County and play in the tough Southwestern Conference. There is Lori Blade, their head coach. And this weekend comes to a close. She'll head out to the softball diamond. Head coach there for the Tigers. Loberg gets it in deep again. So tough to stop there.
When she has that kind of position in the paint, she has the strength to, in one strong dribble, get right to the basket. Edwardsville might want to consider fronting her on most defensive possessions. And take a look there, fighting for position, one strong dribble and up, and really that could have been an easy foul there, finishing with contact, just showing the strength of Grace Loberg.
Loberg comes around, there she is again.
I think she could have gotten herself to the basket on that one too. She had an open lane, very unselfish, trying to find an open teammate cut into the basket.
Remember last night, Edwardsville found themselves down 14-2 to Montini. Only allowed 21 points the rest of the way.
And those are the kind of fouls that Grace Loberg has to stay away from, reaching from behind, trying to tap the ball away. She has got to keep herself on the floor in this game.
Loberg, star volleyball player, all-state volleyball player, headed to Wisconsin. Disappointed in the volleyball finish this year, thought her team should be to the state finals in volleyball, so it has just added that much fuel to her in the run here to the state championship game.
1,400 career points, 1,000 career rebounds for Grace Loberg. Second team All-State, could have easily played Division I basketball. Just shows you what kind of an athlete she is. Going to Wisconsin, which is a volleyball powerhouse.
Edwardsville, 4 turnovers in the first 3 minutes. Loberg started in this tournament, the finals, as a freshman. In fact, as a freshman, she had 24 rebounds in the 2 games, the semifinals and the 3rd place game. So Edwardsville's given up the ball 4 times, and on the other end, Grace Loberg has made her presence felt.
Grace Loberg getting good position, a strong dribble, giving Geneva an early lead.
Hi, I'm Kate Martin with the Edwardsville Tigers. My most embarrassing moment of the season is from a couple weeks ago. We were walking through and I just tripped and fell over nothing, and I put a hole in my pants. Something funny about one of my teammates that most people don't know is that Maria and Jalen are rappers. My favorite moment of the season is the postseason all together, because we get to spend more time with each other, and it's just always fun. Something about Coach Blade that most people don't know is that her favorite word to call people is Sally. My secret talent is that I'm a good singer. All I am is a man. I'm joking. I'm not a good singer.
We have heard that response more and more today, over the weekend. Everybody wants to sing, but no one can.
That's the first person that really admitted it. What a shot from Sylvie. That's the 2nd attempted field goal for Edwardsville, who turned the ball over 4 times, yet we're tied at 4. Mallory to give a little extra height at 6'2". She will give it off to Whitley. That's about where Margaret Whitley last night started that game-winning drive.
Edwardsville doing a great job of overplaying the passing lanes, making every catch so difficult for Geneva.
Lori Blade takes the 30-second timeout to make sure she maintains possession. She likes what she sees here from the All-Stater.
Well, and that was a tough shot because Sylvie had all of her momentum going towards the basket at the last second when the defense cut her off. Steps back, kind of shooting off of her back foot, but she is a scorer. She can put the ball in the basket. 16 points per game for Sylvie. Really good at shooting threes, 68 threes on the season. But she's also the leading assist player on this team with 115 assists. Check out all of those wins. That's how Edwardsville got here. Some pretty lopsided victories for the Tigers.
You sneak in that game against Rock Island. That was the number 2 versus number 3 ranked teams going at it at Normal Community High School just down the road here from Redbird Arena. Epic matchup. Won by the Tigers, kept that perfect record alive that they've extended here into the championship game. Hard drive and underside of the backboard. That was Pronger. Bree Borkowitz has come into the game for Geneva. The Vikings lose a little in height, but she gets a good look on the 3.
She really did. No one defending her on that shot. Edwardsville fans not happy about that call at all. Martin getting tagged up with a foul.
Loberg, oh, what a great pass. Actually, it was Yell. And then the follow. Madison Mallory finishes it off.
Getting the start here and making the most of that. She has been active so far. Seeing her playing off of Grace Loberg really well in the high post, and then chasing down that miss for the offensive putback. Mallory is a transfer from Montini, which just won third place in the third place game.
Completes the three-point play. Mallory checking in with almost 6 points per game and 3 rebounds per game. 3-point lead to the Vikings. And here's the full court pressure. Geneva's taken advantage of the offensive glass. 4 of their 5 rebounds have come on offensive boards. In deep, Pronger, she's tough to stop there. Rachel Pronger, strong 6-foot junior.
Another really good volleyball player. We talk about Grace Loberg from Geneva and what she's been able to do on the volleyball court. Pronger broke the single season kills record for Edwardsville. 3-year starter in basketball, just a very talented all-around athlete.
And then you put her in a classroom at a 4.3 grade point average.
Nice. Being recruited by a bunch of Division I schools, just a junior, #1 rebounder on this team.
So split her 2 free throws. Yell goes strong and took that extra little stutter step there. Sylvie on the defense.
I like that move, though. I like the fact that Yell is attacking the basket. I thought that was a good move. She had a clear path to the basket, challenged the defense, put the defense in a compromising situation.
Into the game now is Kiera Love for Edwardsville. Pronger up top, Sylvie, quick release. Kenzie Sylvie flashed to the elbow. That ball wasn't in her hands for very long, and we're tied at 7. From distance, ring it up.
Really nice ball movement, a little bit of penetration, then kicking out. You're really making the defense work. I think both of these teams are playing with a lot of really good energy right now.
Bree Borkowitz nails the 3, answering the other way, not this time.
Almost another really good inside-out play. Like the way the ball is moving. Take a look here, and nice looking shot by by Sylvie. And then the kick for the long one. Great ball movement by Geneva.
Bree Borkowitz burying that 3. And that's the 3-point difference. Madeline Yell. A strong game last night. She loves the baseline.
That's nice defense. Coming in off the bench, the freshman, Kiera Love, getting her hands up, creating that turnover. 4 turnovers now for Geneva, 4 turnovers for both teams.
Great press break.
Wow.
Haywood can't finish. Pronger over Loberg, can't get it over her.
Well, that's frustrating for Edwardsville. Worked really hard to get the ball through that pressure and had a great look at the basket. You've got to finish those.
Geneva playing with so much more confidence tonight than they did last night against Fremd. And there's another offensive rebound. This time Yell converts. Biggest lead of the night is at 5, and Geneva has it. 60 seconds to play in the first. The 4A championship game. Sylvie again. Oh, how smooth.
Yeah, I was just about to use that word, Dave. Her jump shot is smooth. She's so confident. She just turns and shoots. She doesn't second guess herself at all. That shot is going up.
Whitley. And the Tigers on the run.
Nice job of getting back on defense. Geneva, you can tell they are a well-conditioned team. They play that full court pressure. They get back very well, very quickly.
That was Whitley that broke it up. Loberg again.
Nice. Keeping that rebound high. Grace Loberg not wanting any of those little guards to punch the ball away from her.
Love doesn't recognize the time. I don't know if Edwardsville does. Sylvie lets fly.
Grace Loberg putting Geneva in a really nice spot with a strong putback of her own miss. Geneva up 14-9 in the first quarter.
That 5-point advantage belonging to the Geneva Vikings. Let's take a peek inside their gymnasium. They get to play under the bright lights here at Redbird Arena. What's it look like at Geneva? Packed house. That's what it is. They love their sports in Geneva. And for Edwardsville, down the southern part of the state, they're filling it up as well. Oh my.
That's a lot of people in there.
So the intimidation factor here at Redbird in terms of number of eyes on them will not be a problem for either of these two teams. Edwardsville last night, mentioned a couple of times, they trailed Montini 14-2. And it's taken away by Geneva. That's a 6th turnover for Edwardsville.
Geneva doing a great, Edwardsville's making some really nice cuts to the basket, and Geneva's just doing a great job of covering them.
Hart puts the ball on the floor, and she will head to the line. In that first quarter, 14 points scored by Geneva. 9 of them came on second chance points, and they're so much more active tonight. And I mentioned earlier, Trish playing with confidence, and Katie has talked about with and Sarah Meadows. Quite honestly, the last couple of years that Geneva was at the state finals, they were just happy to be here. Yeah. And now after that last night's win over Frem, they know they belong here.
A different mindset that changes their level of aggressiveness. But just on that drive to the basket by Stephanie Hart, I think that why are we seeing so many offensive putbacks for points for Geneva? Because they're doing a great job of on the first go at it, getting to the basket. That compromises the defense. That creates help to come over to stop the penetration, and that leaves rebounders open to make those putback attempts.
Stephanie Hart knocks down a couple of free throws to take us to a 7-point difference. Martin bagged a couple threes last night. Boy, once again, the Vikings looking to push. Pull up, Hart. The height has not bothered Geneva at all here tonight. The height mismatch across the board. Geneva a 10-9 rebounding advantage.
But Geneva's got some height of its own. Loberg 6'2", Madison Mallory 6'2".
Martin, she is so aggressive. Oh, and she hangs it on the rim and drops it through.
Martin, she has changed her game. She came into high school being known for her defense. The amount of energy she put into her defense kind of took away from her offense. She's become a much more balanced player. She has become older, more experienced. Saw some good offensive plays out of Martin last night, and Loberg doing a great job of drawing the contact. Sometimes that's all you can do. And that's Waters just really no other choice but to hammer Loberg because she had such great position in the paint.
Foul situation early. Mariah Haywu with 2 fouls for Edwardsville. Last night for the Tigers, she was instrumental in the comeback. Loberg with a quick 7 points here tonight. What a run she has had. Didn't get her double-double last night. But in the regional championship, went for 15 points, 15 rebounds. In a sectional championship, it was 21 points, 18 rebounds. Go along with 3 steals. And then in the super sectional win over Maine West, Loberg with 27 points and 18 boards.
Still ended up with 12 points last night against Frem and was really efficient. When she did get the ball, she managed. She was 5 of 8 from the field last night. That's the kind of scorer that she is. She just takes high percentage shots. She's an excellent finisher around the basket.
Sylvie Oh, she gets the good hop for three.
That's a hometown roll. We just saw that Edwardsville gym is like she was shooting back in Edwardsville.
The Tigers needed that one to chop into that 7-point lead. Yale stopped on the baseline by Sylvie. Whitley. Tigers will head the other way, 5:53 to play here in the first half. The winner to claim their first state basketball championship, either boys or girls, for each of these teams. Geneva's boys knocked out of this state tournament. Edwardsville boys a definite title threat in 4A. Sylvie didn't get the roll that time.
And she had a defender in her face.
Jalen Townsend's come into the game. This is Kiara Love. Sylvie to Martin. Baseline Townsend. Now Martin. Any offensive rebound to Love.
Nice pass.
Trouble. Possession will go to Geneva.
Well, I like how both of these teams are really challenging. Every pass, every dribble. A nice job by Geneva to tie up that basketball.
Thank you.
Edwardsville's elected not to pressure in the full court. Geneva has shown it on a few occasions. Borkowitz, the three earlier. And the question is, was it deflected out of bounds? And it is, much to the dismay of the Edwardsville fans at that end of the floor. You've got energy in this one. 18-14 lead for the Vikings.
Arena, second quarter. Geneva leads Edwardsville 18-14. And believe it or not, Margaret Whitley's dad knew this Geneva team was going to make it to state before anyone else did. In fact, he called it back when most of these girls were in elementary school. He coached quite a few of the impact players we're seeing for Geneva here, the juniors and the seniors. Once he was around them and saw their skill set, he told them directly, you guys can go to state. Back when they were that little, quite a few of these girls actually came and watched the Geneva team back in 2009 when they made it to state. And again, he told them then, you girls can be there. Now they are.
Here, and they are making it happen. 21-14 after that three from Stephanie Hart. That matches the biggest lead tonight. Touch last by the women in blue. Boy, it is startling the difference in Geneva's demeanor here in this game tonight from last night.
They are just laser focused. Their feet are moving quick. Their hands are moving quick. They just have a different energy level about them.
Great entry pass inside. Townsend can't get it off. Martin can't finish, and there's Loberg to clean it up. The ball in a 7-point lead midway through the second quarter. Loberg catch.
Oh, that's nice.
And a travel.
Oh.
We have had a lot of traveling calls here this weekend.
I couldn't see her feet, but wow, that was just perfect. That's as much daylight as Grace Loberg is going to see going to the basket. All she had to do is catch that ball, and she had a clear path. Maybe a little too clear, and her feet shuffled.
12 turnovers tonight, 7 for Edwardsville, and another. This one against Geneva, as you saw right there, the intensity from Margaret Whitley.
I think for the most part, Edwardsville has done a really good job of handling the full court pressure by Geneva. But as the game wears on and you have to handle it over and over again, it starts to wear on you a little bit. You start to make some mistakes. Edwardsville now with 8 turnovers, and they're not shooting very well either. And you start to wonder if that takes its toll on you once you do cross half court and get in your half court set. Do you have the legs to finish your shots? They're just at 31% right now, and another turnover for Edwardsville.
Number 9. Yale gets help up top from Borkowitz. Hart, aggressive from the line, got the roll. Stephanie Hart with 7. biggest Geneva lead of the game. It sits at 9. Pronger across half court. Sylvie, corner three. Ring it up.
Wow.
First team All-Stater.
That has been her spot right in front of the Geneva bench. She's been throwing up daggers from there.
Sylvie headed to Southern Illinois Carbondale. 12 points, a couple of threes tonight. Quickly takes a 9-point lead down to 6. Loberg will be called for the foul at that left elbow in there. That's her second. Grace Loberg glanced over to the scorer's table, and that's where Madison Mallory was waiting. She'll take Loberg's spot.
Just fighting so hard for position in the paint, maybe kind of hooking the defender a little bit behind her.
Love has to hurry, going the wrong direction. And that was the freshman, indeed. You know, it's interesting the difference in college and in high school. In high school, it's the manual count for 10 seconds. In college, of course, the shot clock, you just tick down off the clock, and that's your 10-second count. Get the read off that clock. The turnover gives the ball back to the Vikings. Clean pick from Love, and then she'll draw the foul. And for Geneva, that will be their 5th team foul.
And you wonder how, with so many talented upperclassmen on this team, that Kiera Love gets minutes, and that is how we've seen her close defensively along the baseline with so much speed. You saw her right there, the speedy hands and feet creating a turnover for Geneva. And she uses her quickness so well to make a difference for this Edwardsville team.
Martin, a nice little jumper. Kate Martin's her second basket of the night. 3-year starter, honorable mention All-Stater. Just picked up her 1,000th career point last night.
She is getting D1 offers, like so many players on this Edwardsville team are.
Hart is open for 3. Last 5 points of this game have been scored by the undefeated Tigers from Edwardsville. Pronger casually back to Love. Edwardsville looking to become the first non-Chicago area team to win the 4A or AA title since Peoria Richwoods back in 2005. Under a minute here as Sylvie spins to the floor. Mackenzie Sylvie here in the first half. 12 points for Sylvie. She's kept her team in it. 5 of 8 from the floor. She's hit a couple of 3-pointers.
Yeah, I think Sylvie's looked pretty athletic here today, but Coach Blade telling us not the most athletic player on our team, but she just has those intangibles that you can't teach. She's such a good leader for this Edwardsville team and getting to the basket.
Strong rebound, Pronger. And because of her efforts, that will become the 7th foul on the Vikings.
Sylvie, that go-to player for Edwardsville. And you think here in the final seconds that if Edwardsville gets another chance, they'll want to have the ball in her hands, see if she can give this Tiger team a little bit of momentum heading into the locker room. Edwardsville needs to come up with some tough defense here to get another shot at the basket.
Emma Harkleroad comes in to replace Mallory. Mallory just picked up her 2nd foul, and 2 free throws knocked down by Pronger. And it's a 7-0 run now. Remember yesterday in the semifinals against Montini, Edwardsville ran off 12 straight. Yell, nice kick out.
And there you go, there's Sylvie. Trying to corral that rebound and absorbing a lot of contact, getting knocked down. Giving Edwardsville that last shot of the basket that they need.
Sylvie, the shortest starter for this Edwardsville team at 5 feet 11 inches tall. Now Hart has a seat. She has 2 fouls. So we have Mallory Hart and Loberg with 2 fouls each. Second chance, Martin. Touch last by Yell. That's your foul situation for Geneva. On the other side, Haywood along with Waters with 2 fouls. Looking to complete a 9-0 run. Bring this ball game back into a tie. Edwardsville will get it off to Kiara Love. Final 20 seconds. Sylvie gets the push from behind by Whitley. So Mackenzie Sylvie goes back to the line. Missed her last free throw. 77% on the year.
First personal 9th team foul. Sylvie at the free throw line, shooting 1. And the bonus.
Margaret Whitley. Her first foul. 8 straight now. If Sylvie can get this one at 23-14 deficit, will be a distant memory. Just as they did last night, almost in the same part of the game. Edwardsville comes back. Looking for that final shot, looking for the good one. Love a hand on the ball. Winding down.
They don't know it. They don't know it.
And how about how Edwardsville closed out that first half?
Yeah, Coach Sarah Meadows on the Geneva sideline going crazy. Hey guys, you've got to be aware. You've got to see the clock. And Geneva, they just didn't realize where the clock was.
Edwardsville trailed 23-14. Picked up a 3 here, a couple of free throws there. And all of a sudden, we go to the break. 23-23 here in your 4A championship game. The winner will claim their first state championship in basketball and school history. Let's go to Katie Winge.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Geneva head coach Sarah Meadows. Coach, what were you so upset about with that last play?
We don't know the time. We got to know that. That's fundamental basketball. It's frustrating.
Mackenzie Sylvie has kept this Edwardsville team in the game. What adjustments will you make on her in the second half?
Well, I just think defensively we started getting up too much and we started fouling and lost our composure a little bit. But we'll regroup. We'll be back. We'll be fine.
Good luck in the second half. Thank you. Geneva and Edwardsville tied at half. Dave and Trish.
Sarah Meadows not too happy about the last 20 seconds, but she has to like what she saw early, especially from Grace Loberg, the 6'2 senior with 8 first half points. Then it's Stephanie Hart. Hart, long range. We're tied at 23.
Halftime on the campus of Illinois State University near Uptown Normal, and things are all tied up between Geneva and Edwardsville. We've got ourselves a close game in this 4A state championship. Let's take a look at how we got here. Some highlights of the first half. It has been back and forth between these two teams. Mackenzie Sylvie really has kept Edwardsville in the game. She is so smooth with that jump shot, but Geneva has been all over the offensive boards. We see them with some great inside-out action, a great 3 there by number 22, Brianna Borkowitz. Really spread scoring for them, but Mackenzie Sylvie making things happen for the Tigers, gets the roll on that 3, shooter's touch, if you will. Stephanie Hart answers with a knockdown 3. Again, the Tigers making things happen. That's number 22, Kate Martin. We will be back to determine the winner of this 4A state championship. Things all tied up right now. Geneva 23, Edwardsville 23. It's the grand finale inside Redbird Arena, the IHSA State Finals State Championship for the 4A group, and we are all tied up at halftime. The Geneva Vikings and the Edwardsville Tigers. It's a close one. We really couldn't ask for a better matchup here. It's halftime and things are all tied up. Geneva looking for their first state title, and Edwardsville looking to finish their season perfect, an undefeated record. Let's take a look at some of the stats from this first half. If you were to just look at the numbers, things look like they're tied. They're shooting about the same percentage from the field, 33 and 35. Only 2 3-pointers apiece for each of these teams. About the same when it comes to free throws, 2, 5, and 7. Not too many attempts for either team. The rebounds, Edwardsville seems to be on top of that one, 19-11. Geneva with their press has caused the Tigers to have 10 turnovers so far in this one. They will look to clean things up in the second half. We're just moments away from the beginning of determining this 4A state champion. When we come back, we will have much more action here from Redbird Arena. Things are all tied up. Geneva and Edwardsville at 23. We are back at Redbird Arena and just about a minute away from resuming play of this tied up 4A state championship game. I'm joined now by Edwardsville coach Lori Blade. Coach, you talked in that quarter meeting in the middle there about how Geneva was really using their press to speed the game up. What adjustments will you make in the second half?
We need to make it a half-court game, so we've got to take care of it against the press. We can't force things against it. Once we get it down there, we got to settle it in and see what we can get that way. But they're doing a good job taking that option away and speeding it up a little bit. We just have to make better decisions.
Thanks very much, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Things are all tied up, and we are 30 seconds away from the action. Dave and Trish, here we go.
Yeah, indeed we are. In fact, Katie, Trish, we look at the score, 23-23, and these teams have not been in this situation. Yes, not been in close games, and they've not been in the state championship game as well. What do you see? How will they handle it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be curious because even in the state tournament, both of these teams have been blowing out their opponents. So how do they handle the pressure under the big lights in the state championship game, in a tight game? You know, Geneva's had a lot of success, even though they are overall not winning the rebounding war. They are opportunistic on the offensive boards. They want to continue that here in the second half, just really go after missed shots to try to capitalize on those putback opportunities. And then for Edwardsville, it's get the ball in the hot hand, and it's the girl who has the ball right now, number 12, Mackenzie Sylvie. 14 points for her, the only double-figure scorer in this game. She has been shooting the ball well. You want to continue that. Get the ball in her hands as much as possible.
Edwardsville held Geneva scoreless at the last 3 minutes of that first half, and the Tigers scored 9 straight points. Edwardsville has never led in this game. Margaret Whitley will give it off. Mallory. Offensive rebound, and that's how we started the ball game.
And that's exactly what I was saying. Geneva did a great job with that in the first half. 6 offensive rebounds for the Vikings. And that led to 9 second chance points. And here we are again, cleaning up the miss. That's Madeline Yell. She did a nice job of tracking that ball, being physical, and then making the three-point play work.
The first 30 seconds. Geneva stops that 9-0 run. Christiane Waters, quiet in the first half. She had a couple of fouls, couple of early fouls. Mariah Haywood also with 2 personal fouls. She sat for a large portion of that second quarter. The turn to the basket by Pronger. Here comes Yell. Look out. Waters, Loberg, jump ball. Geneva will have it. Haywood very quickly comes out, replaced by Love. I think Haywood's a little bit confused as to why she was removed from this game.
Well, she's getting an explanation now from Lori Blade on the sideline.
Haywood, a transfer from Belleville East this season. Whitley rejected Martin. Love retreats and accelerates forward.
Just broke through 2 Geneva defenders.
Sylvie, kick out Martin. Loberg to pull it down. Her 6th rebound of the night to go with 8 points.
Credit Geneva for recovering defensively because they were really at a disadvantage numbers-wise.
Half of this building likes the call, the other half, Vikings ball up by 3. Hart doubled up.
Oberg calling for the ball in the paint, and their teammates aren't seeing her.
Mallory misfires on that three, and Love will draw the foul. Appears to be on Yell. That would be your second.
Kara Love, all 5'2" of her, coming up with that big rebound for Edwardsville.
Yell has been a little bit different kind of spark. Last night it was Haywood that was the spark, and tonight it's Love taking over for Haywood. Bree Borkowitz into the game for Geneva. So the Vikings will go small as Mallory will check out. Exchange of 5'6" and 6'2". Pronger outside, the junior, 1,000-point scorer. Christiane Waters with the ball. She's going to join Mackenzie Sylvie at Southern Illinois University.
Sylvie dribbling there on her knees. Oh, yeah, that's going to be a travel.
She was looking for the jump ball.
I think she might have come down before that ball was touched by the Geneva defender. Yeah.
It's a couple of whistles that have gone against the Edwardsville folks.
I think that was a good call.
You'll have to go across the gym and convince the people in orange and black that.
Yeah, these are some rowdy fans. I love that. I mean, we've got fans spilling up into the upper deck.
Yeah, we are wrapped around on that far side, and there's that white, the blue, and the orange on that second level.
Take a look at that crowd. That's great. You know, these fans, they want to see a part of history. Both of these teams chasing their first ever state basketball championship, boys or girls. That's big.
Whitley. Martin can't believe that call. She got the ball. There was contact somewhere else.
This is smart basketball by Geneva. Kind of sensing some frustration by Edwardsville after a couple tough calls, take it right back at them. Edwardsville, important now to keep their head. There's a lot of veteran players on this Edwardsville team. They're going to have to collect themselves right now and not get too frustrated by a couple of bad breaks. Just put your head down and get back to work.
Margaret Whitley gets her first point of the night. That was the first foul on Kate Martin. Christiane Waters picked up her third moments ago.
Nice little in sequence there. Everybody's got the routine down by the Geneva bench after the made free throws.
5-0 start here to the third quarter for the Vikings. Haywood is back in for the Tigers. Turnover, number 12. Looking to build on a 5-point lead. Patience, then aggressiveness. Rolls out of there for Hart, and Yell over the back of Sylvie. And for Madeline Yell, that is her third foul. But this third quarter has belonged early to Geneva. The Vikings on a 5-0 run to start it.
Hi, my name's Grace Soberg, and I go to Geneva High School. I wish I could dance, and not like, I wish I could be a lyrical dancer, like compete. Emma Harkrode, number 40, before every game, our whole team will be like singing and dancing, and she'll just be sitting on the bench reading a book, literally until the minute we go out to warm up. During the national anthem, I always squeeze my pinkies to the beat, because we hold pinkies with our teammates, and then me and Margaret, number 23, we take a selfie before every game. Something about Coach that a lot of people don't know is she probably owns the most pair of shoes I've ever seen anybody else have. Like Nike shoes. Every day at practice, she has a different pair.
Grace Loberg filling us in a very matter-of-fact type way on the Geneva Vikings.
Yes, and it just is the era that we're in, the selfie before every game. I mean, you know, what's a game without a selfie beforehand?
This is their 33rd game of this season. Love knocks it down. That's a 2 just inside the stripe. That ends the 5-0 run and brings it back down to a 3-point difference. Geneva has never trailed. Lindsey Blackmore into the game for the Vikings. Loberg finds herself inside. Double figures for Loberg. She has 10.
And really, that's one of the first times she's actually touched the ball here in the third quarter for Geneva. It's been other players stepping up for the Vikings.
16-6 advantage. Points in the paint for Geneva. Sylvie again, the quick release.
Well, she was kind of falling away from that shot and trying to get up and over the defense. A little short there, but she's got to keep shooting. She's having herself a nice game. 5 of 9 from the field with 2 threes. 14 points for Sylvie.
Geneva working on a 15-game winning streak. Edwardsville on a 32-game win streak. No losses this year for the Tigers. They're on the ropes here with 3 minutes to play in the third. Loberg elects to kick it out. Back inside and out.
Well, she does such a good job of being patient and recognizing when she's being double teamed or she doesn't have the position. She's very unselfish.
Loberg kind of lost her feet on that one. You saw the great volleyball timing, though. She had that timed up. Very active jumper.
Well, last night, you were saying she was up by the rim, trying to get rebounds. Just that timing, that jumping ability, the quick explosiveness that you have from volleyball, she is able to translate into the basketball court.
Haywood to Martin. Sylvie again. And we had contact in the lane as Lindsey Blackmore was stumbling around in there, and that will be foul called on Edwardsville.
Sylvie, I think she's a little discouraged right now. She has not scored here in this third quarter. She's stuck on the 14 points, but she has got to keep shooting for Edwardsville.
5-0 run to start this second half, standing with that difference right now.
Oh, that's great defense. That's going to be a... Oh, okay. I thought they always going to call a charge, but that was great defense. They're stepping in. Talk about gutsy. There's Mackenzie Sylvie and big Grace Loberg coming right at her, and she's stepping in on the help. Almost drew a charge, instead got the travel. Nice job on the defensive end by Mackenzie Sylvie.
One basket here in the first 6 minutes of this quarter for Edwardsville, and they'll have to wait a little bit longer to get that second one.
Turnover number 13 for Edwardsville.
Biggest lead of this game belonged to Geneva. It was 9 with 3 minutes left in the first half before Edwardsville ran off the last 9 points. Turnover the other way. Here comes Love.
There's that quickness. And a little bit of razzle-dazzle on top of it. How about that? Splitting through 2 defenders, taking care of the basketball and making a fancy layup. That energizes this Edwardsville crowd.
A great timeout called here by Sarah Meadows, the head coach for Geneva. She saw this play and saw the momentum it was generating.
This is the freshman. This is why Kira Love gets a lot of minutes for Edwardsville. The quickness on the defensive end. She's going almost coast to coast. She will not be denied, beating everyone down the floor. The razzle-dazzle finish. That's impressive. She is going to be a player the next few years for Edwardsville.
Two nights from tonight, Jimmy Butler, D. Wade, and the Bulls hit the road for a battle with the division rival Pistons. That starts at 6 o'clock with Bulls pregame live, presented by Coors Light, and streaming on the NBC Sports app. Next week, on Friday night, we will come to you from Peoria. The boys 1A and 2A state basketball finals, our third week of America's original March Madness here in Illinois. And a following week, the week after that, it will be 3A and 4A. Congratulations to our 3A champion earlier today. The Morton Potters go back-to-back 2 back, a three-peat for Morton as they knocked off Rochester last week. Our 1A champ, the Bravettes from Anawan, and Tigers won the 2A title, the Byron Tigers. They went back-to-back in 2A. But here's somebody will claim their first state title. There's Kiera Love off the bench. Tossed in 3 rebounds with those 4 points.
Yeah, the 4 points, but so many defensive plays. She has been disruptive so many times for Edwardsville in the defensive set.
Hart can't get past Sylvie.
Oh, there she is again.
Martin got the hand on the ball. Love looks to finish.
You are not going to catch Kiera Love. Well, she has just given this team another lifeline. You got some pep in the step now for the Edwardsville Tigers, thanks to Kiera Love.
But they get it into number 10. Grace Loberg takes care of business.
That's just tough to stop. Getting caught from behind, that's Rachel Pronger, and Edwardsville might want to consider doubling up on Grace Loberg, putting somebody in front of her, because if she catches the ball that deep and has to just turn and shoot, she's going to make it probably 90% of the time.
Sylvie. Will there be time? No. 5-0 run started this third quarter for Geneva. Edwardsville on the ropes a little bit, then a freshman showed up, Kiera Love, getting the job done. Back-to-back drives for scores. We're going to head to the fourth quarter. Your 4A title game separated by just 3 points. Edwardsville has made a habit of getting the super sectionals. In fact, 12 times in the last 14 years. They lost in the supers the previous 3 years. The bugaboo was Bennett Academy.
Bennett back-to-back state champions, beating Edwardsville in the supers, and this Edwardsville team is so hungry because, you know, getting so close the last 2 years, not making it. They beat Bennett this year in the super sectional to advance down here for their first state final appearance since 2012, and you got to wonder that just those emotions and the road that this team has been on, how that will come into play here in this fourth quarter as this team tries to get back in this game and possibly take control. A nice shot in the paint there, a nice start to the fourth quarter for Edwardsville, but this is a team that's playing with a lot of hunger, a lot of emotion. It's been a tough, long road the last 3 years for this team.
Rachel Pronger's basket starts the fourth quarter.
But how nice is that for them, Dave, to the last 2 years losing to Bennett in the supers and then beating them this year to get down here? I mean, how satisfying is that for them? And now they're hungry to finish the job.
Loberg, speaking of hunger, she has had a drive in this postseason, unlike many players that we have seen before.
But that's the thing. Here, Edwardsville, a hungry Edwardsville team is up against a hungry Geneva team that also is looking for its first ever state title. Been here a couple times, come up short. This Geneva team just as hungry.
Long-range shooting has struggled today. Only 4 threes, 2 apiece for these two teams out of 23 attempts. Hart. Ooh, she throws it up and rolls it in.
I tell you, Hart has just been an X factor for Geneva in this game. That's 9 points for Hart. She's really the playmaker on this team. She leads this team in assists. Scoring for her is icing on the cake for Geneva.
Back to a 3-point difference. 6.5 to play in your 4A championship game.
Hart really doing a good job of finding the opening, cutting through the Edwardsville defense. I mentioned 9 points now for her. She's got a 3-pointer as well in this game.
Inbounds pass tipped off the hands of Kate Martin. Whitley, a little inside out. Unable to finish. Martin on the push. Tough shot. Loberg snatches it out of there for Loberg. That's her 8th board of the night.
Well, it feels like Loberg has way more rebounds than that, though, because she's got a bunch on the offensive end.
Lefty 3, no. Whitley couldn't get it to go. Yell is able to save it. Or no, she got the sideline. What a great steal, or a great save that would have been for Yell.
Boy, Geneva's been pesky on defense, just challenging everything. Sylvie thought that she had a break situation going there, but getting caught from behind with a little defensive flick. You've got to take care of the basketball against this Geneva pressure.
Sylvie, wide open 3, but she walked.
But they've been calling that a lot, the catch, the shoot, the little hop that a lot of players take. And, you know, these players are, as the game comes down the stretch here and every possession becomes crucial, going to have to realize the way that this game is being called. Some refs don't call it. These refs are. Got to be set in your shot. Can't do the hop. You're going to get called for a travel.
We've been at this 3-point difference for a while. Loberg in deep, tough to stop. You're not going to.
Wow.
Not going to stop the 6'2" All-Stater.
How do you not bring some help defense? When you see Grace Loberg spinning and turning towards the basket, why isn't somebody from Edwardsville stepping in to help with that? Because she is alone, just too much to cover one-on-one deep down in the paint like that.
Edwardsville wants a 30-second timeout.
Maybe they're going to talk about that, Dave. Hey, we've got to bring some help. We've got to have a second defender helping out Loberg. She cannot be allowed to go to the basket like that one-on-one without anybody stepping in. Take a look here, covering a lot of ground, so strong going to the basket, nobody to help. And Waters has her hands full defensively on Loberg. She needs some help in there.
You know, it's interesting that timeout called by Lori Blade. Media timeout's going to happen as soon as we get under 5 minutes with a dead ball, but Lori Blade said no. I'm not waiting for that.
Might be too late by then.
Bad things happen.
Yeah, if you keep letting Loberg go off like that, this game's going to get out of hand.
They wore white jerseys last night. I think the blue jerseys for Geneva, at least here at Redbird Arena, have some sort of superpower in them. Completely different looking team tonight. And last night's nail biter, last second win over Frem.
They looked a little tentative last night.
Martin strong. Put back Pronger. Loberg could not corral it. Big crowd here at Redbird Arena. They've gotten their money's worth tonight. A 5-pointer in the final 5 minutes. And that's what America's original March Madness feels like and looks like here at Redbird Arena on the campus of Illinois State University. So happy you've joined us. Dave Bernhardt along with Patricia Babcock-McGraw and Katie Winge. And we're taking this 4A championship down to the wire. Let's check in with Katie Winge. She listened in to Lori Blade.
Thanks, Dave. I know Trish has talked a lot about looking for that double down against Loberg on Geneva. We'll look for that now. She talked about that in that huddle, saying give her no space. We want her to have less touches. So I would anticipate a double down now. She looked at her girls. She paused. She said, listen. And she smiled and she said, you can do this. So they're still optimistic with under 5 remaining.
Yeah, this is a very talented veteran Edwardsville team. They've got some height and size. They just need to be keenly aware of Grace Loberg, where she is, where she's turning, and they've got to be committed to bringing that help. That means that the rest of the defense is compromised. You know, Loberg is a good passer out of a double team, so everybody else is going to have to be highly alert as to where the shooters are for Geneva and cover that as well.
Your foul situation, 3 team fouls on Geneva, 4 for Edwardsville. Vikings with 4 timeouts left. Edwardsville has 3. The arrow belongs to Geneva. Looks like they will get Whitley on the hold. They're cutting Martin deep underneath.
Geneva foul on 23, Margaret Whitley.
Edwardsville has never led in this game. The undefeated Tigers pulled even at the half at 23, and that's been it. Able to safely get the ball in bounds this time.
Pressure on this Edwardsville team, undefeated. Got a lot of D1 talent on this team. The target has definitely been on their backs all season long. A nice smooth move by Haywood, who really came through huge for Edwardsville last night in the semifinals.
That is only her second shot attempt of the night, but the difference sits at 3. Mallory back in the game. We'll get it.
Waters trying to front Loberg. Just making sure she can't even catch the basketball.
Waters, the strong body. She has 3 fouls, as does Haywood.
It's number 25, White.
There's the screen, the roll.
Good help, though, by Edwardsville. The help came quickly this time. It hasn't been there at all for most of this game for Edwardsville, and resulted in a missed shot. Good defensive set for Edwardsville, and they need it here. They need stops almost every time down the floor.
Edwardsville crowd came to their feet after that last rebound. 3:15 to play. Sylvie to create. Hangs. Rebound, Pronger.
Oh. A little physical in there.
The arrow will go to Geneva.
Yell though, she's a tough nut, Yell. We've seen some big plays out of her. The boards, going to the basket, defensively. She's really a spark for this Geneva team. Older sisters played on a team that got downstate. Or Cousins, I'm sorry, Cousins for Yell.
Under 3 to play. Here is Madeline Yell.
Geneva can afford to be a little patient, but you don't want to mess around too much. That's when mistakes happen. Still have to be aggressive.
That's a good look for Whitley. She's going to follow it.
And Loberg getting hammered. Kate Martin. Not much you can do except for to hack at that point.
Loberg, a 61% free throw shooter on the season.
Well, this is opportunity number 3 right here for Geneva. You cannot let that happen if you're Edwardsville. You've got to be playing almost perfect defense, and then you've got to be able to close out with a defensive rebound.
First free throw goes, the second. Edwardsville chasing 4 with 2.5 to play. Sylvie controls up top. Martin, there's Pronger.
Nice ball movement. Pretty basketball.
Rachel Pronger finishes it off. A 2-point difference. Loberg's missed free throw was the first miss from Geneva at the line tonight in 10 tries.
Wow, that's pretty good. Pretty clutch.
We're under 2 minutes. Hart. Loberg, the catch.
Oh,
it's
wow.
Gonna go.
What a finish, and the foul. But Loberg launched that from her knees, falling down to the floor, and somehow has the strength to power that ball up because a great pass leading Loberg right to the basket. But you see the defense and the help closing in. Not sure that she knew that she made it. Can't finish the free throw, though, but that was a spectacular shot by Grace Loberg.
Down 4, 1:35 left. 3 ball.
That would have been big.
Possession will go to the Tigers. Edwardsville tonight, just 2 of 11 shooting the 3. Love back in for Edwardsville. Quickly, Geneva will counter with Borkowitz. Plenty of timeouts remaining for these two teams to use in the final minute 28. Martin, tough spot there. And Edwardsville will use one of those timeouts. Remember, each of these teams last night in the semifinals had their games come down to the final possession, and boy, does it feel that way here again. For Edwardsville, they're looking to finish off a 32-0 season. This is what it's looked like for them. They've been to the finals here in this decade, in the decade of the early 2000s, we should say. Second place finish in 2012, losing to Whitney Young in that particular ball game. And for Geneva, this is the second time in the last 5 years, 3 times altogether, or make that 2 times altogether, prior to this season. And Grace Loberg was a member of that 2014 team. As a freshman, she's making it happen here tonight.
She certainly is. Cleaning up her own miss there. She's been opportunistic on the boards, finishing some tough shots. Now Edwardsville is bringing teams, and she's still finishing there, showing her strength as a post player, a Division I athlete, albeit volleyball at Wisconsin, but that translates to basketball too. She's been doing it for 4 years. Got brought up less than a month into her freshman season. And her first game, college coaches, some of them were present. I think it was at the Montini tournament. And they were asking Coach Meadows, who is this freshman? She is amazing. She has been drawing attention from the very first time she stepped on the floor.
That's Mackenzie Sylvie's first points of the second half, and cuts a 4-point lead to 1 with 60 seconds left.
Huge shot by Sylvie, who hasn't shot the ball all that well in this second half.
14 first half points, and then the big 3 here, her only points of the second half. Mackenzie Sylvie, first team All-Stater, big first half. Scored 14 of her team's 23 points in the first half to help pull the Tigers into that 23 all-tie.
She was very hot in the first half, getting some rolls. Her shot looked good. And she struggled a little bit from the field here in the second half, but that was a huge three-pointer that she just knocked down for Edwardsville. Her third three-pointer in this game. 17 points, 5 rebounds, an assist for Mackenzie Sylvie. She is the go-to player for this Edwardsville team. Not surprising whatsoever that the Tigers put the ball in her hands there.
Plenty of fouls to give here. Only 2 team fouls for Edwardsville. Or make that 16 fouls for Edwardsville. They have 2 timeouts remaining. A foul here would put Geneva on the line, where they've been tough tonight. 9 of 11. There's the foul. And they go after Stephanie Hart, 69% free throw shooter. The only person with a lower shooting percentage from the line in the floor right now is Madison Yell. She has 59% for Geneva. 1-1 here for Hart. Oh. And now what do the Tigers do down by 1?
They're going to call a timeout. Lori Blade, such a strategist, loves to kind of get her clipboard out and draw up a play. We saw her call some really good, timely timeouts last night to kind of manage the clock and manage the game well in the waning minutes. And she has been doing this a while. 23 years, 657 career victories, 13 30-win seasons for Lori Blade at Edwardsville. Sectional titles in 12 of the last 18 years. Pretty unbelievable. 4 undefeated regular seasons in the last 5 years for Edwardsville.
And she will be trying to draw up a play to give Edwardsville their first lead of the night. The best they've done is been tied. It was a 23-23 halftime tie.
Now that's incredible. They have not found themselves in this situation very much at all, if ever, this season. I think they, frankly, were the heavy favorites coming into this game. Geneva has played a whale of a game. Loberg at the center of that. Edwardsville now about to show us what they're made of as an undefeated coming in here with the target on their back. Can they finish in a really tough clutch situation? 28 seconds left.
Well, one thing that Edwardsville will need to do in a miss is get on that offensive glass. They have a 34-23 rebounding advantage over Geneva. 14 of those 34 rebounds have come on the offensive backboards.
That's why you got to shoot with enough time to allow that to happen.
Sylvie will attack. Dropped out Pronger.
Sylvie demanding so much attention because she is the go-to player for Edwardsville, and that opened up her teammate.
First lead of the night for the Tigers. We're down to 10 seconds. Whitley, she did it last night. Hart, got it!
Oh! Hart playing with Hart. Remember, Hart is the playmaker of this Geneva team. Tops and assists for Geneva. Her offense is extra for the Vikings, and that was a huge shot by Hart.
Just mentioned how it was Edwardsville that had to be aware and work to get the offensive rebound on the Geneva side. It came off the offensive glass. But this is how the Tigers took their first and only lead of the night. Sylvie, the assist to Pronger. Then on the other end, the Vikings attack it.
Great vision by Sylvie on that last basket. Here's that drive that looked reminiscent of the shot that Whitley made last night. And Hart just in a great spot to get that offensive rebound and getting the friendly roll there on the rim. Wow, what a huge moment for Hart and Geneva. They are feeling it. They're feeling good. It's going to take a bit of a miracle for Edwardsville here. 1.9 seconds left.
Well, and they're leaving it at 1.9. I was wondering with everything that was happening and the noise and when the timeout was called, whether that would be adjusted. The ball went in at about 3 seconds. So 1.9 and the length of the floor to go. Let's take a look and see exactly when that basket was made by Stephanie Hart, who, by the way, now has 11 points. There it is. It was Loberg that kept it alive. That rolled in with about 4 seconds left, but the timeout didn't get called right about there.
Well, I bet she was calling early on. You saw it, Lori Blade jumping. And I think she was arguing that, hey, I was calling timeout long before you just gave it to me right here.
1.9 seconds to a state championship.
In fact, I think Lori Blade is still arguing that point.
Geneva wants the full timeout.
Geneva.
Unless it's a home run pass.
It's got to be. It's got to be a touchdown pass, right? I mean, you got to pretty much catch and shoot.
Let's join Katie Winchie. She's been hanging around the scorer's table and the benches.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah, the refs were talking to the Edwardsville coaches a little bit about what happened, and Lori Blade didn't look like she called the timeout. She was jumping. She was excited in the moment. The ref thought that she did call timeout. She was saying that she didn't. They ended up giving her that timeout. We saw the huddles take place there. But as you know, they can't look back at the clock, so the Tiger coaches were a little bit upset about how much time is left on the clock right now.
1.9. What do you draw up here? I mean, do you throw the home run ball? Do you get it to half court and hope for the best?
Did you see that Northwestern men's game against Michigan?
Just going to bring that up. And the reason I was going to bring that up, of course, that was a ball game that Northwestern threw at the length of the floor with about this much time remaining to win the game over Michigan. But it was Michigan that called a timeout defensively, and that allowed Northwestern to take a little more time offensively. So a similar, almost identical situation here for Edwardsville. I don't know if we've got somebody who can throw the ball length of the floor.
Well, you know, Lori Blaine, I don't know if she has any of her softball players on this team, but I'd say you start there, and then it's going to be Kate Martin taking the ball out of bounds here for Edwardsville.
Looking for Mackenzie Sylvie on this one. She comes around the screen. Ball tip, ball grab. Geneva state champions.
Wow. Knocking off the undefeated Edwardsville Tigers. Definitely the underdog in this game. Geneva just brought it tonight. Took a last-second shot to get here, but they came out with a different level of energy here tonight, Dave. Just amazing attack mode, aggressiveness, right out of the gate by Geneva, and Grace Loberg really showing why she is one of the best players in the state of Illinois. 17 points, 9 rebounds, made 7 of 13 shots. It really came to play here tonight for Geneva. First state championship in school history.
A happy bunch of Vikings, and they'll look back at our Wintrust play of the game. This, the difference maker. Stephanie Hart, the junior. It goes. Right place, right time. And a state championship.
Geneva had been opportunistic on the offensive boards all game, kind of fitting that it ends this way, but that ball hit about 5 different parts of the rim before it dropped in, and what a great shot by Stephanie Hart, a great moment for her, something she will never forget in this entire Geneva program as well. State championship #1 in the books for the Geneva Vikings.
I hearken back to several years ago in 4A. Marion Catholic won a 4A title in similar fashion with the rebound that just found its way, an offensive rebound, found its way into the hands of a Marion Catholic player, shot, and a score. Let's go to Katie.
Thanks, Dave. I'm with Grace Loberg here. Grace, totally different game for you tonight. What was the difference?
I think our team, there were so many stakes in this game, and I think we wanted it so badly. We have been working for this, all of us since we were little kids, and we came out and we knew how important this was, and we knew how much it would mean to us. So I think we just came out with fire behind our back, and we were not going to let anybody take this from us.
I know you're playing volleyball at Wisconsin next year, so this is your last game in a Viking uniform for basketball. How does that make you feel?
Obviously, I've had amazing 4 years. I've loved the support from our fans, the coaches from both my teams, the teammates. Like, I could not be more blessed to be a part of Energy School, and I'm so sad it's over.
I saw you get your ankle wrapped early in the game. It looks like you may not come back in. What was the desire to come back?
I was never going to not come back in this game. I wanted to win a state title for so long. I was never not considering not coming back in.
Congratulations, Grace. We're going to bring in the game winner here, Stephanie Hart.
Hi.
Walk me through that last play.
I don't know, I saw the shot go up, and then I saw the ball like slip through Grace's hand. I just grabbed it, and I just like threw it up, and I was like praying that it would go in, and it fell in, and then like, I don't know, and then we just knew we had to get the stop, and then we couldn't let him score, and we just got it done, and I'm so excited.
Lots of emotions here. Your guys' first state title. What does that mean?
I mean, that means a huge amount to all of us, because I know 4 of us have been playing, like 7 of us have been playing feeder since 5th grade, and we've been talking about going to state, and then we were here, and then the next goal was to win, and every other Geneva basketball team to ever come to state has only gone 4th, so for us to get first, it's like so happy. I don't even have words for it.
You talked to me a little bit earlier this week about how Margaret Whitley's dad said that you guys could make it to state. How does that feel now?
As you can see, I'm crying, so it feels like unbelievable. Like, it's so surreal right now. Like, I still, like, I don't think it's hit me, but I don't think it's really truly hit me that we just won. That's so crazy.
Congratulations on your win. Go celebrate with your team. Trish and Dave, a picture-perfect finish, realistically.
I tell you what, the beauty of it, obviously a great game, a last-second shot. I mean, everything you want on the floor. But what we just captured was the absolute emotion of winning a state championship means.
Playing with heart is Stephanie Hart. Huge shot by her, a great moment. You see the emotion, and especially just you see it in a first championship for this school. It means so much for the team and the community.
And what a way for a season to come to a close for Edwardsville. Their only loss of the season, a 1-point loss in the state championship game in the final 2 seconds.
And they played a great game too. Hats off to Edwardsville. They hustled. They played with aggressiveness. They played with heart as well. Too bad anybody had to lose this game. It was a very well played game by both teams.
Took the lead with 23 seconds left, and Edwardsville just watched helplessly as that ball from Hart fell through. And we're just about set to present our first place and second place awards. Let's go to that ceremony right now.
And second place team and individual awards for the 2017 Class 4A Girls Basketball State Final. Presenting individual medallions and team trophies will be members of the IHSA Board of Directors. On hand this evening from Breeze Central High School, B. Kent Jones, and from Decatur Christian, Greg Bradley. At this time, please meet the Tigers of Edwardsville High School, who finished the season in second place with a final record of 32 wins and 1 loss. First meet Principal Dr. Dennis Cramsey. Athletic Director, Brad Beavis.
I'd say we're the king of second place finishes.
Trainer, Katie Hamilton. Head coach, Lori Blade. Assistant coach, Katie Ponce. Assistant coach, Katie Beavis. Assistant coach, Stephanie Copeland. Assistant coach, Donna Farley. Manager, Margaret Curtis. Manager, Hakey Sparks. Manager, Chloe Turner. And manager, Sydney Collinsberg. And the Tiger squad members, Kiara Love. Jasmine Bishop. Jalen Townsend. Mackenzie Sylvie. Rachel Vineyard. Lauren Taplin. Madeline Steffen. Rachel Pronger. Kate Martin. Mariah Haywood. Christian Waters. Morgan Hulam. And Maria Smith.
Congratulations. Over here.
At this time, please meet the Vikings of Geneva High School, who finished the season in first place with a final record of 29 wins and 4 losses. First meet Superintendent Kent Muchler. Principal Tom Rogers.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Congratulations. Thanks a lot.
Athletic Director Dave Carley. Trainer William Durand. Head coach Sarah Meadows. Assistant coach Lindsay Hitteman. Assistant coach, Trevor Hitteman. Assistant coach, Tim Moore. Manager, Eliza Peters. Statistician, Bill Martin. Statistician, John Rizzo. And the Viking squad members, Anna Burke, Emily Uplegger, Grace Loberg, Madeline Yell, Kyla Chenier, Annalise Bragg, Brittany Caskey, Lexi Moore, Brianna Borkowitz, Margaret Whitley, Kristen Ralston, Lindsay Blackmore, Madison Mallory, Emma Harkleroad, and Stephanie Hart. Will Coach Blade and the captains from Edwardsville please step forward to receive the second place trophy. And now will Coach Meadows and the captains from Geneva High School please step forward to receive the first place trophy.
Well, raise that trophy high, girls. It's one you've been waiting for quite some time. Third trip here and a first win last night and a championship here tonight. They're your champions that we've crowned here at Redbird Arena in the past 2 weekends. Congratulations to Anawan, Byron, Morton, and here tonight, Geneva. You know, Trish, I'm reminded at this game of the late Al McGuire, the great basketball coach at Marquette and basketball analyst for TV for the NCAA coverage. And Al McGuire always said, in order to win the NCAA championship, somewhere along that tournament trail, the last shot has to go in. It happened ×2 for Geneva.
Yeah, absolutely. You could not ask for more if you're a Geneva fan. I mean, this team really came to play this weekend. I think for both teams, though, in this game, a well-played game. You know, these are two teams that were looking for their first ever state championship. I think on many occasions we saw a lot of heart, determination, hunger from both of these teams, and Geneva just happened to get the last shot to go down. What a well-played game. Hats off to both teams. Congratulations to Geneva. Stephanie Hart, the biggest shot of her life, and it was so great to see all the emotion that came from her in her post-game interview. I mean, that's what it's all about. This means so much to these kids. They've put so much work in. They start at such a young age, and to cap it all off like this, I mean, it's just spectacular. Congratulations to them and the entire community.
You know, back at Geneva in 1904, they started their boys basketball program. They've been playing basketball, boys and girls, all through those years. In 113 years of basketball at Geneva High School, this is their first state basketball championship. Congratulations to Geneva, a thriller at Redbird Arena, 41-40 for your 4A title.